stocks that we took a look at. Now we're taking a look at a new stock because Bitfarms kind of switched us up. We got tripped up by it, and so we can go ahead and take a look at it real quick and see what exactly happened. Bitfarms made a really good run and we made a lot of money on it, but there are some principles that we needed to employ, so we went ahead and bought back in right about here because we saw that it made a new higher high, and then it died off because Bitcoin was starting to get weak the next day. Yeah, we bought right about here. Bitcoin started to get really weak here at this point. Now tell me if you would keep the position if you are a more active trader if you saw this happen, where we're dipping below the moving average, we're hovering right there, and the underlying asset, which is Bitcoin itself, is getting weaker. Around this time, the Bitcoin stock, here we'll show that off. The Bitcoin stock around this time, which was really this morning, was about right here, somewhere around about right here. After this massive run, okay, so we're looking at this, okay, we see that it hovered around the 43,800 mark, which gives some kind of a reason that, hey, maybe it'll want to do that, but there's so much downside potential here. We can see a 50% retrace all the way down to 40,600 bucks, or even 40,000 in general. Okay, and we were predicting based on kind of what we knew at the time that Bitcoin would make it a little bit past 40,000 and then pull back to about 40,000 and then hover there to get some more support. Now Bitcoin still has the potential to do that, but there is also a chance that Bitcoin can make one final jump, and we were also thinking of that one final jump. But this morning we saw a lot of weakness here, and if there's one thing that I don't really tolerate in a stock, it's weakness. So notice how we rejected. We were setting consistently lower highs and lower lows. So we had the lower low set up right here, boom, and then this morning we had this jump, this right here, okay, and we didn't like it. We just didn't like it. So, my bad, I'm confusing it. Right here is where we kind of started to see weakness in the stock, and it sold off. So I didn't really like that. At that point, I sold Bitfarms, and even though the underlying asset went down, Bitfarms itself did have this sudden jump back up, giving us indications that it could, in fact, go much higher. Based on our initial idea of going 2 times the size of the bull flag, we could go up to $3.60. But I'm out of the stock. I'm not going to chase a high. I made good money off of this move right here and lost a little bit when it went down because of this morning. We bought here at about 19, at about 202 actually, and then it went down to 187. And there's a strong potential that it could have went down to $1.50. So we did what we did. We took our profits and left. Our total profits, that is, we took a small haircut off this position, and now we're going to get back into the second stock that I got into. So there's a strong chance that this can sell off too, but there's also a much stronger chance that it won't, and that's why we took a look at it and we were in. So I said, after my stand down period, I'm going to look back and look at the next stock to hit, and I went through the stock screener. You can see that video from last night. And here's what we saw. We saw this result right here. Look at how nice and elegant this stock chart looks. The underlying company is a therapeutics company. I don't really like dealing with therapeutics companies that much because of the fact that they're always waiting on regulations. They might have the sales or the finances in the beginning, and we're always waiting on the promise for a single product to come out that'll make the stock scream up. But the thing that differentiates this is the fact that you're having consistently positive earnings, at least in relation to the expectations. It's still negative overall, but the positive earnings in comparison to where the estimation is gives really good reason for this stock to continue to run how it is. And based on the technicals, we're looking at a very similar formation to how Bitfarms was when we got in, where we had this massive tension here, a retest of this bull flag, which is a very high tension bull flag, and now we're resting at this part right here where in addition to what was seen on Bitfarms, now we have the added idea that we retested the 200-day moving average, which is the yellow bar you see right here. And not only that, we are consistently hovering above that line. That is a major positive move, telling me that, hey, it doesn't even want to really touch that moving average. It's not even seeing it as support. We have support established above the moving average. Okay, so there's something about this stock where we have a high tension bull flag graph. We already have the retest, and then we hit this, which is perfectly reasonable. I mean, we could run right here, but it decided to use this because of the earnings. Even though the earnings was consistent, the revenue was smaller than usual, so it pulled back a little bit, but we're still in the high tension phase. There is a strong chance, and you can also see on the longer time frame where we have this hovering around this level. So we're resting at that level right now before we had to drop down to retest the bottom. This signal right here gives us the indication that it is indeed a quote-unquote bottom, only because of the quick rebound and then a retest of that, but that's when the jump started. Past the moving average, retest the moving average, the 200-day moving average, and now we're resting right here. So I got in at about eight, right here. So we got in about this level right here, so we could definitely go back into negative territory before the actual run. There's a strong chance that we could go down and retest this right here, which is a very steep drop. Our stop loss is set below that though, at about the $7.30 something mark, beneath this entire support level. So I just laid out a lot of positive indications. You can see on the weekly chart, very high tension, super high tension graph, not that much history behind it. We have the IPO price, of which we actually dipped above for the first time on that initial jump for the positive breakout of the bull flag. Now you can see also we hit the above the IPO price, going up to nearly double that before the drawdown late before last year, so it's 2021. And now we have this high tension set a resistance that turned into support, and this is a very stable place to get in. We're rejecting off the moving average, which is another positive huge green flag that we're rejecting off the moving average. We're not even wanting to touch it. And the stock is extremely quiet, not that much volume. There's really not that much news, really. Let's take a look at the news here. And you can see there's not much going on other than earnings and the weekly reports that are automatically generated. So really nobody's talking about the stock. I think it's a good time if there is no more news, or if there's a positive catalyst that this thing could run very hard. Bearish cases is that this is just a big fat fake out, and we retest the moving average for some reason. Like I said, if there's no news stories, I don't really expect that to happen. Or we sustain this for a lot longer than anticipated, and it just hovers around this price for a very long time. I don't really like that either, only because we got into this with the idea of making profit. Another bull case right here is we have the cup and handle formation. Cup and handles are wonderful because they give us indications of being very bullish, and they're very extremely reliable for that. Now let's go ahead and draw our line here to show where the cup and handle is. And this is kind of a one rough line of it, but really you want to look at this right here where you use this as the resistance point, and you can see our cup and handle formation here. Now you can understand that there is, 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and handle that. Okay, so here, as you can see, we have our cup and handle formation. I went ahead and drew an extra one right here just to kind of show the resistance that that is, but it's not as major as what we have right here. So our cup and handle formation is, as you can see here, where we rejected off the top of the cup, at the top of the handle, but we went back down to our very solid support. After dropping from that, we had another drop right here, and now we can see a wingbat pattern that could be forming as well. These are all very simple patterns, all right? Very simple patterns that I've just started to see over the years, looking at thousands and thousands, at least hundreds of charts. where there's cup and handle formations, head and shoulders formations, as well as wing back formations. Although I haven't seen too many wing back formations as of late, it really is about cup and handle formations that are kind of also modified / skewed head and shoulders formations. Anyways, this buying pressure is very consistent. Very consistent. It's been knocked down many times from the top of the handle formation as well as the wing back formation, but we continue to see buying formation, buying that actually passes this resistance level here. You can see by the Daijo that there was, it could have sold off, but it didn't because the support is very strong. We're very close to the strong level of support with this stock, which means that it's a good potential, good buying point. And the support goes back over a year. And another, like I said, another green flag is the fact that we're not even really touching the moving average. We already retested it, so it seems to be good to go. That's why I like this stock. So targets, obviously it's going to be kind of weird because this formation is one of the unusual ones, but let's go ahead and draw. We have our support here. From the support to the cup, we can draw like that. And we can see an actual other cup and handle formation where the handle would be hitting this level at about 10.3 US dollars. We could just say that. And we can understand that this whole thing here highlighted in the rectangle is the handle of the cup. And we can just regard the retest of the bull flag as just a very powerful accumulation level to say that, hey, we are clapping on our support and that we are expected to go up 2 times the height. The difference, the rule, it's kind of tough to explain how the rule goes, but the height of the cup can be expected to be doubled if it is a positive test of the cup and handle formation, which gives us $18, which lines up with what I was thinking it would be. $18 actually is the all-time high, near that. So now we just have to look at volume. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the volume. Now volume is actually what it is. You can think of it as some kind of audio or sound that takes place when you have a lot of buying and selling within the markets. It's just how loud it is. I like getting into stocks where there's low volume because there's not that much activity. And if you have a very solid support structure with a little volume, you can get in and you know that most likely if the volume does come in with a lot of people, then you're going to have a large positive influx rather than anything else. We've just been hanging around here. There's a strong chance that we could clap against this moving average, but like I said, that's the bearish case. You can understand here that it was pretty quiet. It was actually very loud here, which signified, hey, we don't want to go any lower because we're already at a low point, a lot of volume. And then we did that again around here. You can see small amount of volume there. And then it just went off the roof. This is extremely loud, by the way. This kind of volume makes everything else before it looks tiny, okay? And that is one thing to take note of when this, when you're looking at the stock volume. Is this is extremely loud. Now, there's a chance that we can go back down here in the long run, based on just volume alone, because let's say that the bulls actually couldn't make up their mind with this formation, and the actual volume comes in to really want to hit a retest of this moving average again, even though we already did. So the volume can come in and see, hey, we already tested the moving average. This is nice, 50% retrace on the bull run, retest the bull flag. Continual buying pressure, high tension graph, cup and handle formation, retest the cup, retest of the handle, 2 times, $18. We could see that and say, hey, all right, fine, we'll just drive it up real quick because we are ending the period of the cup and handle where it would still be a valid handle, because the handle is usually around the length, at the longest that the handle can be is the length of the cup when it comes to time, but usually you see the handle about half, lasting half as long as the cup region of the cup and handle. So this is a little bit of an extended handle, but it's still a very valid handle. So we can still see that since it's a valid cup and handle formation, it could go up to 2 times the size, the height of the cup. So on a logarithmic chart, that's kind of distorted, but let's go ahead and check the linear. And you can see it's still kind of roughly the same thing, except now it looks as if we already reached the top of the cup. But again, logarithmic is a little bit more accurate. And you can see that $15 is on the linear chart potential, as well as the actual height of the cup, $14. Still, all of this is just a very good, all of these are very good selling points, $14, $15, $18. And so yeah, also bullish case, we are past the moving average. So now that we took a decent review of this chart, we took a look at the targets, we looked at all the bullish cases. I do think it's a very significant thing. I did mention in the group chat for Hub 2.0 that this was a minor resistance level. You can see on the minute-lies that we did hit this resistance level, and there's a chance that we could go down, but there's also a chance that we could just continue to quietly drive up. Remember, I like quiet stocks. So there's not a lot of volume here, except for when we sold off, bouncing off the 1 hourly moving average, bouncing off and hitting this area here, which shows us, okay, maybe we're done selling off. Very, very quiet, very, very quiet throughout the month of November. Another thing that I like about this stock is the time frame of it. So a lot of this development happened this year alone, where we have this entire cup that happened until August, and now we're in the start of December, where we're ending the cup and handle formation, and it could just drive us up January or even in December. That's why I gave a time frame for maturity, 2 to 3 weeks. It could last longer, but I think since we have this, looking at the cup and handle formation, this retrace back down to the yellow moving average on the 200 daily moving average, we can see that the time for the bulls to respond is running thin, because this happened at about a halfway point, and that's when you typically see movement. All right, make a decision. Are we going to go up? Or are we going to go down for the bulls? So also you can see prior to all of this movement, we had a sort of, I would say, a controlled drop with a high tension comeback, and then boom, bounce past it. Now it is support. So many bullish cases. This is why I chose the stock. You want to have all of these green flags telling you, hey, this is a good thing to buy because of this reason, this reason, this reason, that reason, this reason, the 3rd, 5th, 4th, 6th, 7th, and 8th reasons, 5th and 4th, yeah, of why you would buy a stock with max like 1 red flag. And that red flag for this company is its finances. So to the financials we go, we can see that we're consistently negative when it comes to net income. We have tens of over $10 million in revenue from the last quarter. So that's not really bad. And so yeah, our cash flow is just consistently negative. That's the red flag. That's the one red flag, but consistently positive earnings, okay? We have hundreds of millions of dollars at disposal. A lot of that actually does come from loans, though, and debt. That's not good, but we have a lot of money to work with. So if we're losing $20 million over a month, there's a strong chance with consistent $10 million of revenue that we can drive this company into profitability over the next few years, pending their research. So with that, that is an extensive analysis. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, let me know in the appropriate channels. This is going to go to the private analysis channel in the Hub 2.0 Discord group, because I don't want this just going out there. If you're going to make money off of this, I want to be able to get credit from it. You don't have to say, hey, thank you for this or whatever, but if you do make some money off of this, then just go ahead, post it into the showcasing wins section, which just showcases the trades, the winning trades. You can see how much money I made today. You can see how much money I made from other stocks that I've traded. Day P&Ls, I like that if they're in excess of thousands of dollars. I like posting those, but I don't mind posting sub $1,000 gains as long as it's above $100, which is the typical money you would expect to get from a day's wage. Whatever big bag I get, I posted that there, and hopefully the members of the group can start doing that as well. So with that, that's it. Thank you for listening, and peace out of here.